James, welcome back. So glad you are here. Um, let's talk travel. Actually, before we talk about how people were getting back and forth to Daystar's telethons, um, remember they refused to help out our friends in western parts of North Carolina. We're not going to ignore them. I know some people aren't fans of Red Cross. I get that. But I want to list them as an option. If you feel okay with the Red Cross, you can give to redcross.org. The manafoodbank.org is another organization that's helping people in Western North Carolina. And then, of course, there's one specifically in the Asheville area that's doing fantastic work. It's called belovedasheville.org. And by the way, Beloved Asheville also has a phone number. It's 828-571-0766. So if you feel led to do so, please give generously to those folks. It's going to be a long, hard building process to rebuild. And I know the media has forgotten about these folks. We haven't forgotten about them here. If you're from North Carolina, I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, we love you. We care about you. We're not going to forget. Daystar may be just like, oh, Israel, we got to take care of Israel. Yes, we need to help people in Israel. We need to help our own people too. Sorry. Let me get off my soapbox. All right. Let's talk planes, trains, and automobiles. No, this isn't the John Candy movie. This is how people got back and forth to help out with this telethon. It's Heart of the World 2024 telethon. Funny how Perry Stone flew to Fort Worth, according to this article by the Trinity Foundation, by the way. Thank you to the Trinity Foundation for posting this. It says here, Perry Stone flew to Fort Worth near Daystar's production studio on a Super King Air owned by his ministry, Voice of Evangelism. This twin-turbo prop aircraft travels slower and cheaper than a jet. Guess that's a good thing. While Daystar claims all its money raised by the telethon will be spent on charity in Israel, it does not disclose if the network paid the guest host a speaking honorarium or paid for travel expenses. To evaluate the effectiveness of a nonprofit organization's donors should closely examine program services expenses, which are determined by subtracting management expenses and fundraising expenses from total expenses. Charity Navigator recommends that a nonprofit organization spend at least 70% of the total revenue on program expenses. Trinity Broadcasting Network, there's a form here, and I can put that up on the screen too. So, funny how Perry Stone, somebody mentioned I need to look into him more. And I will. Because he's so intertwined with Daystar and his shows on the network. I just wonder, why did they fly him in? What about these other celebrity pastors that get flown in, given the red carpet treatment, so they can participate in the telethon? Now, granted, if your show is on Daystar, it would make sense that you want Daystar to be successful, because if they are, then maybe you can negotiate a deal with Joni that you don't have to pay as much per episode. Now, I know I mentioned Hal Lindsey a couple days ago, and I know that he's since passed away. But when he was alive, they were charging his organization like $300,000 plus per episode, and then they ask for money on top of that. Their main fundraiser is from the shows. So they get money from the shows, and then they get money from the viewers to help pay to put the shows on. It's like, something's just not right. Now, I'm going to have to do some more digging as far as how much it costs to produce and distribute. Now, allegedly, this Steve Wilhite, the one that referred to Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson as a cockroach, it's his job to negotiate with the cable and satellite providers. So obviously the money to those people is, money from Daystar has to go to those people so they can get the shows on the air. But millions of dollars is changing hands. And I wonder, is it really worth it to fly people in on a private jet to do a telethon? It just blows my mind. And I know Michael Brown's in a lot of trouble. He did some stuff that he shouldn't have done, but I'm telling you, his take on planes is spot on. He said multiple times, you don't need a private jet if you're a pastor. You don't need a private jet if you're a minister. You can fly first class if you need privacy. If your goal is to work while you're on the plane, just fly first class. You don't have to worry about the overhead. You don't have to worry about the maintenance of the planes. And I did it. I wanted to test the theory. And a couple years ago, the baggage area was just swamped. And because of that, it caused me to be late for my plane. And I was like, hey, I was here. I was in the building 2 hours ahead of time. And so what they did is they put me on the next flight and they upgraded me to first class. And I will tell you, I had my Kindle, I had my notebook out, and I was reading, I was studying, taking notes, got a lot of work done. So Harry Stone, Creflo Dollar, Kenneth Copeland, Jesse Duplantis. You don't need a private jet. Joni Lamb, you don't need a private jet to preach the gospel. You don't. And it's just utterly ridiculous. This is money that could be used in other ways. You're not being the stewards of what God has given you. That's called financial abuse. So, we will talk tomorrow a little bit about some pre-recorded stuff. Of course, on YouTube, I'm allowed to do that. But you can't pre-record things and claim it's live, because that's not ethical. People in ministry are supposed to be people of higher ethics. And for some reason, folks at Daystar seem to keep falling short. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. In the meantime, if you are new, please hit like and subscribe. I do want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for this community. You guys are amazing. I read through the comments, and the vast majority of the comments are either encouraging or you might have a good point to make. And I do take what you say seriously. That's why we're doing I'm doing several videos about the finances of Daystar, because of a comment that was left in a previous video. So good for you. I do appreciate you. I really do. This is an amazing community of people. So thank you so much for being here. Do the Conan O'Brien bow. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.